The world woke up today buzzing with a single question: what's happening with Hedera? Across continents, from the skyscrapers of New York to the cafes of Paris and the bustling streets of Tokyo, traders, investors, and crypto enthusiasts were glued to their screens. Some were hopeful, some skeptical, but everyone was united by curiosity. Hedera, the digital marvel known as Hbar, was on people's minds, and its price was stirring conversations louder than a morning espresso shot. Hbar has always been a peculiar coin. Born from the innovative hashgraph technology, it promised speed, efficiency, and security, the trifecta every crypto fan dreams of. Unlike some blockchains that guzzle energy like there's no tomorrow, Hedera prided itself on doing more with less, making it a darling of eco-conscious investors. But speed and efficiency aren't everything. The market is a fickle beast. One moment it's rising like a rocket. The next, it's taking a nosedive, leaving latecomers staring at empty wallets and broken dreams. Today, however, the whispers were mostly optimistic. Traders reported that Hbar had been experiencing a modest uptick, flirting around $0.177, a number that, for many, signaled a potential turning point. Charts on TradingView painted a picture of cautious optimism. The intraday high touched nearly $0.195, while the low dipped to $0.177. Numbers alone never tell the full story, but they provided a heartbeat, a pulse of the market's current sentiment. The rise wasn't sudden or dramatic. It was the kind of movement that suggested stability before a possible leap. Analysts across the globe weighed in. CoinCodex hinted that Hbar could climb to 35 cents by the end of the year, citing steady adoption and enterprise partnerships. Changelly was slightly more conservative, predicting a rise to 27 cents, while Benzinga advised caution, estimating a more modest increase. The diversity of opinions reflected one truth about crypto: certainty is a luxury no one can afford. Yet beyond the numbers and graphs, there was a story unfolding, one that involved people as much as technology. In New York, a young trader named Marcus sat in his apartment overlooking Manhattan, coffee in hand, eyes flicking between candlesticks and news feeds. He wasn't wealthy, but Hedera had become a small obsession, a gamble he believed in. Across the ocean in London, Sophia, a fintech consultant, reviewed Hedera's enterprise collaborations. She saw real-world use cases, micropayments, tokenized assets, and more efficient supply chain management. Every new partnership was a thread in a fabric that could, over time, give Hbar value beyond mere speculation. Of course, optimism came with its shadows. The crypto market was notoriously volatile. A single regulatory announcement from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission or an unexpected move by a rival blockchain could send prices tumbling. Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, all competitors in speed, utility, and investor attention, loomed large. Hedera had innovation and efficiency on its side, but market psychology is a tricky player. Fear and greed often outweigh technology in the short term. Despite the risks, the narrative around Hedera remained compelling. The coin had carved a niche for itself, not by flamboyance, but by reliability. Unlike tokens that skyrocketed overnight and crashed the next day, Hbar seemed to move with a patient rhythm, attracting those who preferred strategy over speculation. Its hashgraph architecture wasn't just a selling point. It was a statement that Hedera aimed for longevity, scalability, and real-world application, qualities the market tends to reward over time. Market watchers also noted global trends. Crypto adoption in Asia, Europe, and North America was increasing. Digital payments, blockchain integration in corporate systems, and decentralized finance platforms were proliferating. Hedera, with its fast and eco-friendly protocol, was positioned to capitalize on these trends. The underlying question wasn't whether Hbar could rise. It was how high and how fast it could sustain growth. In everyday conversations online, forums and social media became a stage for debates. Some voices were loud with hype. HBAR to 50 cents by next month. Others cautious. Don't bet more than you can afford to lose. And in the mix, there were stories. Personal tales of small fortunes made or lost, reflections on the emotional roller coaster of crypto trading, and advice shared in the spirit of community. Hedera, in this sense, wasn't just a coin. It was a conversation starter, a cultural phenomenon, a reason for strangers to connect across time zones. Looking ahead, predictions varied wildly. By 2026, some optimistic analysts believed HBAR could stabilize around 40 cents, while more conservative voices suggested 20 cents as a reasonable target. For the long-term vision, 2030 and beyond, the range widened further, anywhere from 50 cents to potentially over $1, depending on adoption, partnerships, and global market conditions. Some futurists even imagined scenarios where HBAR could reach unprecedented highs, driven by mass adoption and integration into everyday digital economies. The beauty of Hedera's story lay not just in price charts or market cap numbers, but in the ecosystem forming around it. Developers were building apps, enterprises were exploring tokenization, and the coin itself acted as a bridge between traditional finance and the burgeoning decentralized world. Its value was partly speculative, yes, but partly tangible, linked to real projects, real users, and real innovation. By evening, the market's pulse remained steady. HBAR hovered around the $0.177 mark, a small increase that could signal bigger things ahead. Traders like Marcus and consultants like Sophia continued to watch, study, and plan. Across the globe, conversations about Hedera persisted, weaving a complex tapestry of hope, caution, and curiosity that in the end. Hedera's journey was a reflection of the broader crypto world, full of promise, shadowed by uncertainty, but undeniably captivating. Its story wasn't just about numbers. It was about human ambition, technological innovation, and the eternal quest to find value in a digital age. For those paying attention, today's price movements were more than a statistic. They were a chapter in an unfolding narrative, one that could reshape how we think about money, technology, and possibility. And as night fell across the continents, screens dimmed, but discussions didn't. Hedera had sparked interest, debate, and hope, the kind of engagement that turns coins into stories and stories into legends. Tomorrow would bring new numbers, new predictions, and new tales. But for today, Hedera stood at the center of a global conversation, quietly proving that in the world of crypto, I thank for your time. Leave your comment please. And don't forget to subscribe. Have good time.